Somalia, a country without government, a nation without a state, no rules, no institutions, no one to protect and control the Somali people. They survive on their wits and their traditions. They endure. With no central authority, the link to the outside world has effectively been severed. Somalis feel forgotten. Without services, people rely first on family and community. But there is change afoot, a new actor on the stage. The ruined capital, Mogadishu, has been taken over by the Union of Islamic Courts. The city is now controlled by a single authority after 15 years of clan-based factional fighting. This is a major event for the stateless nation. And in the newly opened port, a significant humanitarian development, the safe delivery of food aid. The sight of food aid being offloaded onto trucks and taken out of Mogadishu to other parts of the country is remarkable. For 11 years it was impossible to use this port, a major flashpoint for fighting and looting. So the new authority brings both opportunities and challenges. Order and security has been established in the capital for the first time since the collapse of the government in 1991. Professor Ibrahim Ado, Foreign Affairs Representative for the courts.
Our biggest challenge is to go beyond peace and provide social services to serve the basic needs of the Somali population, whether it is food, medical care, shelter, clean water. All of this we have to provide. We have to indicate to the world exactly what we are doing. We want to pacify Somalia, we want to help the Somali people. The unity of Somalia is very important. We have to defend the Somali population.
The Union of Islamic Courts has expanded into much of southern Somalia with military might and moral authority. Sharia law has been imposed, and seminars like this one teach the principles of the Quran and the need for national unity. But the challenges are enormous. Somalia is one of the most difficult countries in the world to help. In Mogadishu, there are thousands of displaced people living in camps like this. They fled fighting years ago. Poverty and insecurity keeps them here. They live on the edge of survival, like Mohammed Isak, who makes traditional toothbrushes to sell in the market. What he earns buys a bit of food every day, nothing else. For years, the displaced have received no assistance, apart from the occasional gift from Muslim charities and, when security allows, a little support from international organizations. This elderly woman from Baidoa has been sick for years, says her family. She has never seen a doctor and they cannot afford to buy her medicine. A generation of Somalis has lived this way for as long as it can remember. There is no formal education system and only a handful of private schools. Most are educated like this. In the local Quranic schools, they use ink made of charcoal and wooden boards to write on. Healthcare is very poor. Here, ambulance by ox cart. Somalia suffers one of the worst mortality rates in the world. Médecins Sans Frontières runs this clinic in rural Merere. People travel for days to get here. A few of the main hospitals are supported by international agencies, like the Medina Hospital in Mogadishu, assisted by the International Committee of the Red Cross. Here, a boy shot in the stomach. He survived for a week before he got transport. Most rural hospitals can't function unless crucial supplies arrive. So people depend on the drugs sold in the market, if they can afford it. And so in Mogadishu, many have welcomed the arrival of the Islamic courts. There is hope at last. Business is thriving. The new authority has given people a framework of order and protection. These market traders are no longer restricted to simply protecting their lives and their money. They can now work safely and plan a future. Armies of volunteers are clearing the streets. Streets blocked by waste were a health risk and an obstacle to city life. This team shifts decades of rubbish, including dangerous unexploded ordnance. It is the most worthwhile thing Ahmed Jumali has done for a long time, he says. The change in Mogadishu comes after a particularly bad year in Somalia. There has been one of the worst droughts in living memory. It has been a challenge even to maintain a traditional livelihood in places like Afmado, southern Somalia. This cow is called Majen. She is the last from a herd of 40. For her owners, cattle are their life, their survival. When the entire herd died from drought, the family moved to the outskirts of town. They now depend on menial work and handouts. Halima feeds the children when she can. Her only hope are some orphaned calves. They get tea in the morning with the children and sleep with her at night.
saaka waxba uma karinin saaka waan u waayaba shilinka baan u waayay ku noolaan lahayn dunyadii haday sii socoto maxaa lagu noolaan galeen halkii shaduqa tunkiis uu ku keenay yaan qaadanay halkii kiishna loodan siisanay.
Halima's husband Mohammed was the proud owner of 40 head of cattle before the drought struck. Almost overnight, the family have joined Somalia's countless number of poor and displaced, scraping together a pitiful existence on the edge of town. Now, the future is dying before their eyes. By early morning, Majen is dead. The body is dragged away from the compound to join other carcasses, but the smell of death hangs everywhere. A funeral pyre for the dead.
waxaan isbedelno hadda macna loo soo raashin ma bahelin ba ma arkin loor kaliya aan saliid lahayn saliidna ma arkin xamaal